water, earth, fire, air. Long ago, the four nations lived together in harmony. Then, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar, master of all four elements, could stop them. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed and my brother and I discovered the new Avatar, an airbender named Aang. And although his airbending skills are great, he has a lot to learn before he's ready to save anyone. But I believe Aang can save the world.
Previously on Avatar.
If I want to catch my prey, I must be agile, nimble. I need a small, elite team.
Even though I was born blind, I've never had a problem seeing. I see with earthbending.
You're gonna be a great teacher, Toph.
I thought a lot about what you said.
You did? Good, good.
We no longer have anything to gain by traveling together. I need to find my own way.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Avatar Vlogs. This is episode 28, The Chase. And the last few episodes have been a ton of setup and introducing a lot of characters, so let's finally get some payoff. So Team Avatar has recently acquired a Toph, and things are starting off okay. It's springtime, Appa is shedding, and the gang is trying to find a way to get a new dynamic now that they have a new person along with them. But things already are kind of off to a bit of a rough start. Katara and Toph don't get along all that great. Katara kind of thinks Toph's a bit of a spoiled brat, and Toph is kind of misinterpreting everybody's intentions as trying to coddle her, and she can carry her own weight. But ultimately none of that's going to matter because the gang is being chased by an unknown machine. It turns out that Azula, Mai, and Ty Lee are chasing them in this giant tank train thing. That's the best I can describe what I'm looking at. And they're chasing Team Avatar, and it turns out they're tracking them so easily because Appa's fur is shedding, and it's leaving a very noticeable trail to follow. And all throughout the night and into the next day, Team Avatar is trying to get away from this tank, but no matter how far they fly, no matter how fast and far they go, they just can't shake the tank. And as time goes on, as everyone gets more and more tired and more exhausted and more desperate, tensions within the group start to flare, and ultimately the gang kind of splits apart. Toph decides she's done with this nonsense. She's sick of everybody. She parts her ways. Aang and Katara and Sokka split up in an attempt to avoid the tank. And not only is Azula and her gang tracking them, but Zuko is not too far on their trail as well. And so the rest of the episode is the gang going their separate ways, trying to deal with their adversaries. All the while, they may come back together in the end. So this is an episode where, as a kid, I liked it, but I never really loved it. It was more just kind of one of those episodes that was a bit of a placeholder. But again, like so many, I love when I can say this. It's better than I remember. This is a really good episode. I'd actually say it is one of the best in the entire series, which is pretty impressive too, coming off of Zuko alone, which is already by far and away one of the best episodes of this show. And then you get another follow-up that's pretty much just as good, is really impressive. Like, this is an episode where you just feel so bad for the main characters, because it's one of those great episodes where throughout the entire thing, they're just trying to achieve this one goal, which is to sleep. And I don't know if you've ever seen episodes of cartoons where, like an Animaniacs Potty Emergency, where Yakko is just trying to use the bathroom, or other episodes where characters are trying to use the bathroom, and they're just trying to get home, or they're just trying to do this one thing, and they can't quite do it. And it just creates this real great sense of desperation and annoyance, and just, oh my God, will you please let us sleep? And you feel that so strong. I will say, out of almost every episode I've seen up till this point, this might be the most tightly written. I mean, for the plot that they get, they basically tell the entire story of a great cinematic epic. Like, this is the plot of an entire 3-hour movie in just a single 24-minute block. You have a gang who's trying to get a new dynamic with a person who's a part of their group. They're being hunted. The group splits up. They go their separate ways. You see how they're dealing with it on their own separate ways. There's another character who's tracking them as well, and it all comes in together in kind of this good, the bad, and the ugly style Mexican standoff climax. This whole episode, honestly, is one of the best, not only for just the desperation it creates, but for how much story they get across and how much character. It's just so well paced. Like, I watched this episode a couple times and I was never bored. I was just fascinated how I was always on the edge of my seat every time something would happen. You really feel for these characters. You get really good dynamics from all of them. I like how the characters split off in just the right way. Aang is by himself facing Azula. Toph is by herself and she comes across Iroh, which, you know, Toph and Iroh are kind of a great combination. You have Katara and Sokka facing Mei and Ty Lee. And you have Zuko, who is once again just desperately trying to achieve his goal. Ultimately coming back together with the gang reuniting. But in a way, they're also kind of broken. I actually do like how the ending of this episode doesn't tell you much, but it does say a lot in where the characters are by the time this episode is done. It's a very brief image, but it's kind of a poignant image. It's sort of like in The Storm when Zuko and Aang share that look between each other when they're passing overhead. Honestly, this is just a really great episode. I love too how it does take place in kind of a Western style setting for its climax, not only initially with Aang, Zuko, and Azula facing each other off, but also how the group slowly comes together to take on Azula, who is their common enemy. And not only is this just a great example of great dramatic storytelling, but it does have a few funny moments. For example, you know what time it is.
And now Avatar The Last Airbender Vlogs presents to you Sokka's Quote of the Day.
Good try, but no.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But not only that, I feel compelled to play a Ty Lee clip because this was kind of the moment I realized I'm really going to like this character.
Wads of wet fur. How delightful.
They're not wads. They're more like bundles. Or bunches? It's got an sound.
Clumps?
Clumps! They're clumps!
Yeah, there's that. And I know it's another bit of a shorter one, but I don't have much to say about this one. It's just a really good, great episode. It's a great episode. And normally you think I'd have more to talk about, but I really kind of don't. It's one I just kind of recommend you go see for yourself because the results more or less speak for itself. And not only was it and it's kind of a good payoff to all the setup we've been getting over the past few episodes with all these various characters. So with that said, I'll leave it on kind of a shorter one. I'll see you next time. Until then, onwards and upwards, my friends.